ونستهديه ونسترشده ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهدي الله فهو المهتدي ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. وأصلي وأسلم على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين سيدنا محمد عليه أفضل الصلاة والسلام. It is narrated in the Quran in Surah An-Nisa, يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. O mankind, be mindful of your Lord who created you from a single soul, and from it he created its mate, and through both he spread countless men and women. And be mindful of Allah, in whose name you appeal to one another and honor family ties. Surely Allah is ever watchful over you. And in another ayah, أَحَسِبَ النَّاسُ أَن يُتْرَكُوا أَن يَقُولُوا آمَنَّا وَهُمْ لَا يُفْتَنُونَ. Do people think that they will be left to say, we believe, and they will not be tried or tested? Subhanallah. وَلَا تَحْسَبَنَّ الَّذِينَ قُتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ أَمْوَاتًا بَلْ أَحْيَاءٌ عِندَ رَبِّهِمْ يُرْزَقُونَ. Never think of those martyred in the cause of Allah as dead. In fact, they are alive with their Lord, well provided for them, and ask Allah for us, inshallah, to be among those. It is still a genocide. I can't change my stance. It's still a genocide, and it is still racial cleansing. But this is not the subject of my khutbah today, but something that we cannot ignore. Like now, the Houthis have been classified as terrorist group because they are asking for humanitarian aids to be led into Gaza. So, yeah, and this is the unfair world we are living in. But again, this is not the subject of today's khutbah. It is about us and the Palestinians. It is about us who are living here and them living there. We can see clearly from the news what the Palestinians are made of and what the world is made of in terms of injustice, double standards, the UN, and so on, so that we have discussed in my last khutbah. And the question is, where are we from those? Where are we from them? Where are our every and each one of us compared to Palestinians? Are we ready to strive and struggle in the way of Allah, the way they are doing it or not? And where specifically our kids from that, the next generation who are being grown like this? Do not think that the Palestinians have this strength because of they are strong without a reason. It is the way and the struggle they have went through that made them built in this strength. Like if we see a very simple example, the Al Jazeera reporter, he lost all his family, his wife, kids and nephews, and still he was reporting the next day. Do we think that we can do this here easily, living in the comfort we are experiencing in this country? I don't think so. My khutbah today is to shed some light on the differences and things we can do to improve ourselves, to be more ready if Allah will put on us a stronger burden or a harder life, that we can, inshallah, be strong and face it. In my opinion, the people of Gaza is what this ayah experiences, explains. من المؤمنين رجال صدقوا ما عاهدوا الله عليه فمنهم من قضى نحبه ومنهم من ينتظر وما بدلوا تبديلا. Among the believers are men who have proven true to what they pledged to Allah. So they stick to what they have pledged to Allah. Some of them have fulfilled their pledge, in other words, died. Others are still waiting. So this is their will, this is what they want. And they have never changed in that at all. And they are steadily on this path. So are we able to be with them? Are we able to follow on their steps? And an hadith narrates that Sayyidina Muhammad said لا تزال طائفة من أمتي على الحق ظاهرين لا يضرهم من يخذلهم حتى يأتي أمر الله. There is still a ta'ifa from us Muslims who are manifest upon the truth. They are steadily on the truth. They will not be harmed for those who forsake them until Allah's decrees and Allah's decree comes. At least, if we cannot be among those, we should not be from the ones who ignore them, who neglect them, who neglect their cause. From us being here, we should try to acknowledge the problem, find people to speak to let them know the truth. Like if we saw the ICJ, the International Criminal Justice case that South Africa presented a day and Israel presented the next day, the media here focus more on the reply from Israel rather than focusing on the actual case, showcasing what South Africa had to present as the basis for their case against Israel. So this is something we have to do. This is something we have to show people, tell people, so that we can show our solidarity with the people who are really facing death every day. If we take a deeper look and focus more into the people in Gaza and their lives, how it is, in 2017, the population distribution was that 17% of the children are under the age of 5. That was in 2007. And 46% were under the age of 15. So it is a very, very young population, mashallah. In 2012, it is estimated that nearly half of that population is our kids. From 1.7 million at the time, it was like 800,000 of them are kids. So the main thing that the Palestinians are focusing on raising their children is that they are close to Allah, that this dunya is sort of meaningless to them. Not meaningless as in terms that I don't really get, no, they strive for dunya, they work, they do the education, they are trying to find their work, and they were even working on the Israeli side just to make money for them to sustain themselves, but still they were reading Quran. If you listen to many of the kids that are on the social media reading Quran, mashallah, if you listen to them, they read it correctly, a letter by letter correctly. They understand the meaning of steadfastness, and this is something that instilled into them generation by generation. 1948, their grandparents were thrown out of their homes with promises from the Muslim world or the Arab world that we will have this fight with the Israelis or the Zionists at the time, and then you will be back into your homes, and they left their homes and they fled. But this is the fourth or fifth generation. They said, we are not fleeing, we are staying. We will not leave our land. This is our land. Now Gaza and the West Bank is our land, and we will never leave it. So this is how they are raised. They have very strong family ties. Like if two brothers, each one of them will have two boys, for example, they will exchange one of the boys. So I will give one of my sons to my brother and take one of his brothers. So in case an air raid comes and all my family is killed, still my name or my son will live after me. So this is how these family ties are that strong, and this is something we cannot comprehend easily. They are still waiting for Shahada. They, like one of the viral videos, there was a father that in the hospital saying that we are all a project of Shaheeds. He was there for his dead son. He said, we are all project of Shaheed. Alhamdulillah, he's there. I want to follow him. And in the media it said that he followed him, but we're not sure. But may Allah bless him with that ajr. But they still love life. They are still living day in, day out. They are looking for clean water. They are looking for food. They are looking for ways to create their own water. Like they were singing a song, a man was playing on a guitar, and like 10, 15 boys and girls were singing on the rubble. So this is hard to comprehend, but they did it. And another example where the two brothers, one of them was 10 years old, another was 5. The 10-year-old was injured, and the 5-year-old was more injured. And he left, the older one left his doctor and went to his younger brother, and he asked him to say Shahada. At 10-year-old and the 5-year-old, would you think that our kids here will do that? Will you have this mindset that, okay, my brother is dying, let him die on Shahada? It's not easy for us to live this, to have this in the moment of hardship. Maybe if we're living here, sitting in this chair, in this warmth, we would say it, but at that moment, will we have the mental strength to forget our own pains and think about my brother's pain and tell him the Shahada? I'm trying to figure it out. And they have a very nice game, the game of Shaheed. They have the 6 or 7 boys, they carry an ambulance bed with a boy, with another kid over there, and they run as if they are going in an ambulance, and oh, he died, he's a Shaheed, mashallah, and they are all happy that one of them ended up to being a Shaheed. This is a game that they play. I'm not sure how mentally strong they are to be able to do this, but subhanallah, they are doing it. Their life is not easy. For the last, since 2006 at least, the Gaza Strip itself has been under siege from whatever is being sent in or whoever is going out. Like the Palestinians, they don't have the freedom just to travel. If somebody is studying, he doesn't have the freedom to just go there and travel to go to his study. He has to apply for a permit, and that permit has to be approved, and he must go to the borders, and the borders are closed, so they have to struggle to find a way out, rather than having a way in. So they are deprived of many freedoms that we are enjoying here, alhamdulillah. They know that they have no hope in sustaining themselves other than with their own effort, other than what they have to do for their own self. Every one of them has to help himself out to be able to live and support his own family afterwards, inshallah. I'm quoting this according to Reuters, the number I'm going to tell. The occupation is only allowing daily 2,279 calories per individual in Gaza. Comprehend this. This has to sink in. 2,279 calories per person. This is the amount of food that the occupation is allowing into Gaza. So people living there, I don't think they have ever had that feeling of a full stomach. They are all just living on the calories to sustain their lives. This is how brutally they are treated and how strong they are to be living this life the way they are doing at the moment. The most important thing that they live with is their belief in Allah. They know, and generation to generation, this is inherited, that we are living in this land to guard it. We are those people who will be living in this blessed piece of land. We are the ones who are guarding it. We are the ones who will not leave whatever. If we are annihilated, then it's fine. If we are killed, then it's fine. But we are not leaving. This is their belief. This is what they know they are made for, or they are created for whom Allah. And for us, we have to show our support for them in this cause. We have to be with them, directly, indirectly, whatever, but still we have to feel for them, we have to be close to them. And subhanAllah, I ask Allah for us to have this strength in order to be able to support them, because they know that they don't need us. But subhanAllah, we are the ones who need them. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. All praise be to Allah, the only God worthy of worship, and I bear witness that Muhammad ﷺ is his final messenger. I will tell you a story to emphasize more the meaning that I want to convey to all of you today. It is a metaphoric story that two farmers they planted the same type of tree in more or less the same conditions. And over the years, the two trees grew, and one of them was good looking, very big leaves and looked very healthy, and the other one was growing as well, a little bit smaller, but it was growing. Its leaves was not that shiny or bright, but it had good enough leaves. So one day a very strong storm came, and like the one we experienced in here, and some of the trees in the neighborhood fell off, but one of the trees fell and one of them did not. To my surprise, that the one that didn't look that good did not fall, but the other one fell. And then they asked these two farmers, what is the reason? Why did this one fall and this one did not fall? And they asked the one with the tree that did not fall, and he said that I feed my tree, but I don't feed it to the root. I feed it around it, like 2 meters away from the tree, so that the tree had to work to live. It had to extend its root to reach that food. So when the storm came, its roots were very strong, so that's why it did not fall. So that is how we have to think of our kids, our next generation. We have to make them work. We have to make them think about how to, not to the extent of surviving, alhamdulillah, we can support them more, but for the extent that they have to struggle, they have to work hard to achieve goals. A major difference between them and us living here is that they appreciate what they have, even though it is not that much. Here we have so many things for granted. We take them that electricity is for granted, clean water is for granted, bread is available everywhere, vegetables, fresh vegetables. Summer vegetables are available, winter vegetables are available in summer. So we take these things are for granted and we do not appreciate it. But for them, on the other hand, whatever they have, they appreciate it. They live happily with whatever there is. And this helps their generations to mature faster. Like a 20-year-old here will have the same ideas like a 12-year-old there. Because that 12-year-old there have gone through hardship much more than a 20-year-old living here. And this is what makes a man. This is what makes a mature man. A man who's capable of sustaining himself, looking after others, and taking care of his family, and so forth. You know, that this instilled, can't find the word, this instilled strength that's inside. No matter what happens outside, I can sustain myself. They get over their grief very, very quickly. Like a brother when he's died, alhamdulillah, he's a martyr, I wish it was me. This is what they say. So these men were grown, and they were able to understand the meaning of resistance, the meaning of steadfasting for the country, so that they went to the extent of creating their own weapons, their own thing that they used to defend their land. So they are not relying on others. This is a very important thing. Reliance on others for you to succeed in your cause always leads to, I will not say always, but it's a cause of disappointment, because when you rely on others, then you don't find the support, you end up disappointed. But for everybody to be responsible for himself, this reduces the amount of disappointment. We have our kids living here. We have here a younger generation from the Royal Holloway, inshallah. May Allah bless them with their education. So we have to help our kids. As for myself as a father, I have to help my young men now, I would say, to develop their own goals for their lives, rather than being, I want to be an engineer, so what? After being an engineer, what are you going to do? I want to be an accountant, and so what? What are you going to do? Are your goals only for yourself, or for the society, for the community, for the ummah? I don't want to say big words that are meaningless, but still, our Islam is a religion of community, it's not a religion of individual. That is why a prayer alone is one, a prayer in Jama'ah is 27. This is how Allah wants us to think about the Jama'ah, think about the community, the society, how we are living there, so how we are integrating. The kids in Palestine, for example, have no time to think for the first world problems like LGBTQ, I'm a boy or a girl. I don't think this have ever crossed their mind. Their own goal is to be strong, to fight the occupation, to seek their education, to sustain themselves. This is what they think about. So we have to direct the focus of our kids to move forward, to look to goals, and they achieve it or don't achieve it, it's in the hands of Allah, but still we have to work towards that. The social media is taking too much of the time, although I cannot complain now. Social media has been really a very strong tool for us to expose the brutality of the occupation, but still we have to make them mindful of whatever is being there, to have to find authentic sources for whatever they are watching. They have to learn to adapt. Brothers, if you can move forward, because some brothers want to come in, so if you can move forward and fill the spaces, thank you very much. They have to make use of whatever available. Like, if somebody will have a chicken, somebody will say, it's a very metaphoric example, but I eat thigh, I don't eat chicken breast. So will you start without eating a chicken thigh? Or, these choices, they have to have a bigger and a broader perspective of life. Our kids in here have to accept Allah's faith, Allah's qadr. Whatever comes their way from Allah, they have to accept it. We have to instill this in them. They have to be strong. The mental strength is very strong over here. Like I see boys and girls, they have problems when they have exams at schools. This is an important thing in life, but in the broader spectrum, it is not that important. A school is a tool, it's not the ultimate goal. So we have to give them bigger goals so that they can be stronger in the future. A stronger aspect for our young generation here is the choice of spouse. It is a khutbah of its own, but I will just go through it as an important aspect that we have to instill our kids from their younghood, from their young. How do they choose their spouse? Does she have to be a good looking? There is a hadith that narrates that Sayyidina Muhammad said a woman may be married for 4 reasons: for her property, for her rank, for her beauty, and her religion. And he emphasized that, so get the one who is religious and prosper. Taribat yadak, he said. So these are the reasons that someone will choose a wife. Maybe she will be wealthy, she will be have a high rank in the society, she will be beautiful, but still the most important thing that Sayyidina Muhammad emphasized is her religion. Because this is the building block of a society, and the building block of a community. So for us to have a strong home, we must have a strong religious couple. Because this leads to the next ayah that in Surah An-Nisa, وَلْيَخْشَى الَّذِينَ لَوْ تَرَكُوا مِنْ خَلْفِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّةً ضِعَافًا خَافُوا عَلَيْهِمْ فَلْيَتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَلْيَقُولُوا قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا. This is the piety for those, the guardians who are concerned for their kids, that they might love and live, might die and leave them some helpless children behind. So let them be mindful of Allah and speak of justice and speak equitably. So for us to have a strong home, we must have a good choice of spouse, be it a boy or a girl. And then for them, they have piety in their home so that they can have less fear over their kids. And because of doing this, we have a strong building block of a community. And that building block of a community builds a society, and this grows. Because our homes can be deserted. If a home doesn't have any Quran recited in it, Muhammad says it's like a desert. So if Jama'ah is not made at home, it is like a desert. It's like the land of the dead. So we have to be mindful of this. Our homes must have Quran, our homes must have Jama'ah. If we cannot come to the mosque, then each and every father of us or a young guy here living in a hostel or the university accommodation, they must find somebody to make Jama'ah with. This way, we are stronger as a society. So to conclude, because the subject can take us, but time is limited, taking the children of Palestine as an example, for us here, we are people who have safety, we have food for the day, we have hospitals to attend, so we must not worry about tomorrow. Alhamdulillah, if we have what we need today, we don't know if we're going to have tomorrow, so we leave that in the hand of Allah. We have to strive hard for this dunya, but always be aware that it is to be in our hands, not in our hearts like them. They strive in the dunya, but they are not sad if they die as a martyr, though they are not in a loss or their family members. They could have fled, but they know their obligation from the hadith on them, that they have to keep that land and keep defending that land. And for us, we might have another goal from Allah, but still we have to observe that and we have to show our support to them. They are living for a cause, and their cause is clear, but for us here, is our cause of life is clear? Are we trying to support them? Are we trying to be mindful of them? Sooner or later, the war will end. The media will forget about this, and we have another topic to cover. But the occupation will not stop having more settlements. And us here, are we going to forget? I am wearing this today. In 2 years' time, will I be aware of this cause as I am today? Or will I just leave it when it is off the media? This is something I have to ask myself, and each and every one of you will have to be mindful of that. Because the problem is not that it is in the media. The problem that it is not that it is an occupation, that it is the Masjid al-Aqsa that they are defending. It is the Masjid al-Aqsa that we have to be mindful of and feel like we have to support our brother there so that they can remain on their cause. At the end, I ask Allah to make us among those who support this cause. I ask Allah to make us among the ones that He will choose, not the one He will change, because there is a hadith that Allah, or a dua that Allahumma astakhdimna wa la tastabdilna, Allah use us, do not change us. Because if we do not take the responsibility, Allah will choose other people to take this responsibility. This is how it is, throughout history. If the nations will not take the responsibility, Allah will get another nation. I ask Allah to make the people of Palestine as strong as they are, and inshallah support them. And I ask Allah to make us among those who will support them. اللهم ربنا استخدمنا ولا تستبدلنا ونستخدمنا ولا تستبدلنا اللهم ربنا استخدمنا ولا تستبدلنا ربنا اغفر لنا ذنوبنا كلها اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا اللهم اشف مرضانا اللهم اشف مرضانا اللهم اشف مرضانا اللهم ربنا أعنا أن نكون من عبادك الصالحين اللهم ربنا أعنا أن نكون من أهل القرآن ربنا أعنا على تربية أولادنا بما يرضيك عنا وعنهم يا رب العالمين. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم وأقيموا الصلاة.